Hey everyone, it's Anna Marie Christine. I'm here because I'm gonna make a not so short, but a quick overview of my life and who I am. So if I refer to something in, future videos, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I had my first son when I was 16. His name is Jordan. He was born in 2002, 2 days after Christmas, December 27th, and I was very young, so obviously his father and I are not together, but we still talk. We're not on bad terms. When I was 18, like 17 and a half, going on 18, I met my soon-to-be husband, or he turned into my husband, obviously. His name is Matt. And shortly after getting together, we decided to have a child together. Yes, we rushed into things, but I'm never going to regret it because I do have a wonderful son out of it. So in any case, my son was born May 3rd, 2005, Zachariah, and we were married June 15th of 2005. Our marriage lasted 5 months, and then we separated. To this day, we're still technically divorced, but we are separated. We are still not technically divorced, but we are separated, and have been since 2005, since November 15th, 2005, actually. We just didn't get along. We were both very hard-headed and stubborn. A lot alike in some ways, and we just clashed. But I'm not going to bash on him. I don't necessarily love or adore him or anything like that, but I don't hate him. I dislike him, but I don't hate him, and I'm not going to bash him. Since our son was 5-6 months old, he has had custody of him. I went through a really hard time in my life. I felt like my world was crashing down. I ended up having postpartum depression, and I wasn't aware of that. And then he ended the relationship, and I felt like my world was crashing down, and I did some stupid things, which I'm not really going to get into unless asked, and then I might reply personally through a private message, or I might make a video. I'm not exactly sure if it's really that a lot of people have a lot of concern or wonder. But in any case, so we split up. He's had custody of him since he was, 5 months old. And I've had, because of the things I had done, I've had supervised visits by my mother on and off with him. And then after we split up, a few months later, I met James, who's my now boyfriend, and we met in 2006, February 2006, and we hit it off right away, and of course he and I have had our struggles here and there. We split up for a short time, maybe a month at one point, a month or two. I don't think it was even a month, but other than that, we're still together. In 2007, my father was murdered. 3 men set my parents' house on fire, and my dad had diabetes, so that hindered his healing because he was in the house and the kitchen blew up in his face. So he had 9, not 90, 9% burns on his body, but really bad smoke inhalation. And he lived in the hospital for a week on a respirator and, all the life-saving machines that there are, and he ended up passing away June 4th of 2007. Excuse me. After that happened, excuse me, I got something in my throat. After that had happened, things got really bad. My mom and my brother ended up moving in with me, Jordan, and my boyfriend, James. At that time, I had very liberal visitation with Zachariah. I believe, I cannot remember whether or not at that time I was supervised. I think I may have been. Visits with him. But I had custody, primary custody of Jordan. But after my father died, I went into a depression. My mom, my brother, obviously were all in a depression. And we let things get very far away from us. The house became a danger for my children. And I'm not proud of it, but I recognize it. And I realized that, you know, at that time, I could not raise my children. Any real family I had that would have been there to be able to support me and help me along with the grieving process for also grieving and going through depression. Out here, the closest family I have is my mom, my brother, and my grandparents. Not to say that I don't have any other family, it's just that they're not in a close proximity. And at that time I thought I was fine, which is not true. I wasn't. But in any case, Jordan's aunt came over to see Jordan at one point, went into my house and saw that my house was unsafe, and reported me to the Child Protective Services or agencies. And long story short, both Jordan and Zach were removed. Jordan actually went through a whole DIFUS case battle, which is called here Division of Youth and Family Services. I'm in Jersey. And in the end, Jordan's paternal grandfather and aunt ended up getting guardianship. And they have had so since then to this day. Matt still has custody of Zachariah, and with both children I am supervised by my mother. I'm pushing 8 minutes, so I gotta see if I can cut this in time. Okay, so since then it's been about 4.5 years. I had my son Draven in 2010 with James, and I have come a long, long way. At first, Draven was removed from the hospital because they were concerned about my past history, and he was in foster care until he was 6 months old. Then he was brought home, and he's been home since, and I do not have to be supervised with him in any shape, way, or form. So I am currently planning to see if things can be changed in the other cases. But I will not be talking about those cases until they have been closed, or I feel that it is okay or safe that I can speak about them. So let's see. I think that might be it. Yeah, I had Draven. Draven's home. I'm so much better. My house is no longer an issue. Yeah, Jordan's not going to be 9. Zachariah is 6 now, and Draven will be 2 in February. He's 22 months today, actually. So I think that's pretty much it, and I cut it all down into one video. So, more videos to come. Thank you.